Wildcats beat the Washington Huskies at uh, at Washington um, at Washington Huskies home. Final score: Arizona Wildcats 77 to the Washington Huskies 72. Um, 6 defensive breakdowns from Anderson. Although Anderson did have 22 points, he was the highest scorer for the team, and 5 defensive breakdowns for York. But York had 18 points, so he scored 18 points for the U of A. So, but then um, it was 4 defensive breakdowns for Tarczewski. Um, Tarczewski was uh, he was defending against Chris, and those were and there was 2 people that that the U of A had a hard time with, and one was Andrews, with Andrews scoring 20 points, and the other one, Andrews is a guard, a 6'2" guard, and then the other one was the forward, Chris, 18 points. So he did really good, but we couldn't get, we had a hard time finding a defender for Chris. And I look at Anderson, and Anderson had 6 or 5 defensive breakdowns, and I think 4 of those defensive breakdowns were against Chris. So yeah, 4 of the defensive breakdowns of the 6 defensive breakdowns were against Chris. So he was having a difficult time defending against Chris. But you know, with the defensive breakdowns, it's kind of individual. You know, what I see and what another person might see. You know, the coach or other fans might see, or other players might see. It's a defensive breakdown. Well, it could have been this person, or it could have been this person. You know, there was a lot of fast break opportunities for the Washington Huskies. I think that the Washington Huskies scored like 17 points off of fast break opportunities, and they had I think it was they had well, the U of A had 20 turnovers, which was really, really, really bad. But then the Washington Huskies had 18 turnovers. So, you know, it kind of works out a little bit. You know, I mean, both huge amounts of turnovers. But you know, the thing about it is that with all those turnovers, then you're giving the opposite team more opportunities for to score field goals, to shoot field goals, or to shoot 3-pointers or free throws or whatever. But if you look at the amount of field goals attempted for the Washington Huskies and the amount of field goals attempted for the U of A, for the U of A Wildcats, I think it was 66 field goal attempts for the University of Arizona Wildcats and 56 field goal attempts for the Washington Huskies. So where did all of those extra opportunities come from? Well, the place where all those extra opportunities of extra shot opportunities came from, because uh, it wasn't from steals and it wasn't from blocks. Um, the extra opportunities came to the Arizona Wildcats from all of those from all of those second chance opportunities, or from all those rebounds that they got. I think they out rebounded the Washington Huskies by, what was it? Well, it was really cool because Anderson, all by himself, had 8 offensive rebounds, which I've never seen one player for the U of A have that many offensive rebounds. Um, so that was really cool. And then Tarczewski had 3 offensive rebounds, so that's another good thing in Tarczewski's part. Um, but if you look at the total amount of rebounds, we had 40. The University of Arizona Wildcats had 43 rebounds, as compared to the Washington Huskies, which only had 29 rebounds. So that's where you get those second chance opportunities, and that was a big thing. The Arizona Wildcats had 30 and had 21 points off of second chance opportunities, while the Washington Huskies only had 6 points off of second chance opportunities, off of rebounds. So that's a difference of 15, and then at the same time, then the amount of turnovers was big for the Washington Huskies, because the Washington Huskies are a very, very quick team, and they were able to get points off of those turnovers. And actually, they were able to get 31 points off of the 20 turnovers that the U of A Wildcats had. The U of A was only able to get 14 points off of those off of the 18 turnovers that the Washington Huskies had. So what can you say about that? Well, you got a difference of 17 points off of turnovers in the favor of the Washington Huskies, as compared to second chance opportunities. I think it was 15 point difference for second chance opportunities for the U of A Wildcats. So where did the extra 5 points in the favor of the University of Arizona Wildcats come from? Well, the 5 extra points for the U of A came from the bench, and the U of A Wildcats had 21 points from the bench, as compared to the Washington Huskies, which only had 12 points from the bench. So that was a contribution from Trier. Trier did have a couple defensive breakdowns. One was against Thibault, and another one I think was against Murray. Murray was the U of A always really has a hard time with guards, especially the Washington Huskies guards, because the Washington Huskies guards were very, very quick, and pretty much the whole team was really quick. And that I guess what I saw for the U of A Wildcats was we had Ristic with 11 points. He only had 2 offensive rebounds and 1 defensive rebound, but anyway, so you got a guy that Ristic, which is 7 foot, and then you got Tarczewski, which is 7 foot. Then you got Anderson, which is 6'10", and then you got Tollefson, which is 6'10", as compared to the Washington Huskies, which have a 6'9" guy, a 6'5" guy as forward. I think, let's see, I think Thibault and Murray were 6'5". Murray is a guard, but Thibault, I think, is a forward. So it was the 6'10", the 7 foot guys again for the U of A Wildcats against the Washington Huskies guys of 6'5", 6'5", one or two guys that are 6'9". Dime was 6'9", and like I said, Chris was 6'9". So two, but it was just the offensive rebounds that I think that was just too much. The second chance opportunities and the ability to move around in the paint, kind of push the Washington Huskies around in the paint was the game-telling factor and why the U of A won this game. So, but I really think that they need to step up their attention to passing, because there was a lot of flagrant, just silly passes. It was just so hard because Washington was so aggressive. That's why it was very, very difficult, and that's why they picked the ball off. That's why they stole the ball. I think it was how many times did they steal the ball? They had 13 steals. So 13 steals and 10 blocks as compared to the U of A Wildcats, which only had, I think, 7 steals and 5 blocks. So that was a big thing in the Washington Huskies' favor, was they were just so many steals and so many more blocks that because of their aggressiveness, their quickness. And that's one of the reasons why the U of A Wildcats had 20 turnovers. But the U of A Wildcats hopefully can pick up their game and play, not have so many turnovers, maybe cut down that amount of turnovers in half against UCLA, because UCLA is very good at taking care of the ball. The U of A Wildcats beat the Washington Huskies. Final score, U of A Wildcats 77